after 6 long months. Not even just the last 6 months. I'll even say the last maybe 5 years since they've been a team. Sasha Banks and Bayley have finally split. The golden role models are no more. And it happened the way that I kind of predicted it. I kind of expected Bayley to be the one to portray Sasha. Now, you guys know that I don't like rematches. And when Sasha and Bayley got their rematch for the tag team titles, I guess you could say I wasn't thrilled. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I wasn't thrilled about it. But, to me, the only saving grace to it, and I even said it on my live stream, you would have heard me say it on my live stream, the only thing that would save this whole rematch, this worthless, pointless, predictable rematch, the only thing that would have saved it, if Bayley turns on Sasha. And that's exactly what we got. Sasha in the match was given the babyface treatment. She got injured during the match. She hurt her knee. And she got that babyface kind of treatment where she continued to fight even though she was injured. There was a miscommunication between her and Bayley at one point, where Bayley was going to go up for the elbow drop, but Sasha would instinctively go for the pin. So, I have to say, I really liked the beatdown. Like, I love Sasha Banks. You know how much I love Sasha Banks. But I honestly think, at this point in time, I am just going to full on say, heel Bayley is the best. Like, she's just the best. Bitch Bayley is the way WWE should handle Bayley in the near future. I don't know what future Bayley will hold when her reign comes to an end. Like, I don't know what her future will be. But at this point, I think Bayley won't need a title anymore. She's already proven how good she is. She could easily be like Seth Rollins. She could easily be a lot like Seth Rollins. She could be the best thing on television and she doesn't need a title. Seth Rollins is like that. He's so good with the Messiah character. He doesn't need a title to really prove how good he is. And I've said this before in my previous videos. I have explained before how there are some wrestlers that don't need titles to really be considered top stars. A title, being a champion, isn't always the answer. Having a championship isn't always the answer. It's not. And I loved this beatdown. I thought this beatdown was fantastic. I wouldn't say I loved all of it. There were some things I didn't like. The one thing I didn't like was Corey Graves. Now, I'm not saying he ruined it. Well, I kind of think he did ruin it. But WWE went the wrong direction here with Corey Graves. Michael Cole, he was fine. They did everything right with him. because he was genuinely confused on why Bayley attacked Sasha. But Corey Graves, on the other hand, he's been trying to drive a wedge between these two for a while. He's been trying to drive a wedge between these two for a very long time. Now, what they should have done is that they should have had Corey Graves, actually praise Bayley. Not actually, be happy with what she did. Because Corey Graves is the heel commentator. He's the heel commentator. He's supposed to support what Bayley's doing. This would have been the perfect segment to have Corey Graves and Michael Cole argue. Because I love when commentators argue. Sometimes I actually like it when they argue. When it comes, when it's the right moments, I feel like the commentators arguing over wrestlers' actions can be good. So I feel like they dropped the ball with Corey Graves here. They really should have had Corey Graves, be on Bayley's side for attacking Sasha. While Michael Cole defends poor Sasha for getting the hell beat out of her for literally no reason. Well, to him, it was for no reason. But to us, the viewer, we know why Bayley attacked Sasha. For the last 6 months, Sasha Banks has been staring at Bayley's championship, the Smackdown Women's Championship. We've been seeing Bayley, we've seen Sasha stare at it multiple times. That could have been number one to why Bayley was going to turn on Sasha. 2, Sasha made Bayley fight her battles. Now we know Bayley's done that to Sasha many times before. We've seen Bayley do that to Sasha Banks many times. We've seen Bayley make Sasha wrestle Tamina. We saw Bayley make Sasha wrestle Lacey Evans. We saw Bayley make Sasha wrestle Kairi Sane, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross. Sasha Banks only did it a handful of times. She made Bayley wrestle Alexa Bliss in street clothes, and she made Bayley wrestle Asuka that one time on Raw. And also, Bayley has shown, and Bayley showed, that she didn't care about her friendship with Sasha Banks. It was very clear on the road to WrestleMania, SummerSlam, sorry, wrong words. Bayley showed on the road to SummerSlam she didn't care about her friendship with Sasha. Remember when Sasha made Bayley wrestle Asuka? Bayley lost the match, and she didn't care. She said it wasn't important to her. She said the SmackDown Women's Championship was more important than her friendship, and Sasha called the Women's Tag Team Championships the symbol of their friendship. They lost that symbol of friendship, and now Bayley thinks Sasha's worthless to her. They're not tag team champions. Sasha called it the symbol of their friendship, and Bayley threw it back in Sasha's face. Bayley didn't help Sasha retain the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. There is so much that we have learned through this storyline for the last 6 months. Now, yes, I know you guys have heard me come on here and, get a little upset at some of the things that I've disagreed with. But you know what? That was just me generally sharing my opinion on the whole thing. But at the end of the day, guys, now that the breakup has happened, I can just generally tell you guys it was 6 months and it was worth it. As much as some of the things I didn't agree with, I thought it was all worth it. For the last 6 months, I think it was worth it to get to where we are today. Now, Sasha's been written off television. I don't know how long for. I don't think it will be long. I think it will be like a month. I think she'll be off television because, we got Clash of Champions coming up. So it makes me think, well, they're obviously not going to do Bayley versus Sasha for Clash of Champions. So they're going to wait they're going to wait another month and then have Sasha return. Probably even at Clash of Champions. They could even have Sasha re-emerge at Clash of Champions after Bayley beats whoever. I generally think Bayley's going to face Naomi. A, because Naomi pinned her. And B, Naomi is Sasha's friend. Because of their days in Team Bad. You don't think for 1 second that Naomi's going to defend Sasha? So yeah. In my genuine opinion, the last 6 months has been fun. The last 6 months it's been fun. But now the fun truly begins. Sasha is now a babyface. We all now feel sorry for her because of what Bayley did. And I gotta give props to Sasha Banks. I gotta give her props for the courage to take that nasty, nasty chair bump. Now Sasha's been through worse. She's been slammed through a table by Charlotte Flair halfway off a cell. She's been through worse. Some of you may think, well, she's been through worse. Well, I think this was easily the best thing that we've seen from Bayley. I just love this sadistic, evil Bayley. This, like, as much as I want to, like, we all know, now that after what Bayley's done, now we all know, now we are all waiting for the day that Bayley finally gets what she deserves. That's the whole point of it now. Now when Sasha comes back, now we're all going to be anxiously awaiting. And now we're going to be seeing that Bayley is going to get what she deserves. That's all we're going to be waiting on now. Sasha Banks is great in the babyface role, and I think WWE realizes that. I think WWE realizes that Sasha Banks is just so good as a babyface, and Bayley is just so good as a heel. I think WWE have just confirmed to us which versions of Sasha and Bayley they prefer. I think they prefer lovable Sasha and evil Bayley. I think those are the versions that they prefer. Not saying Sasha's a bad heel, but I think in WWE's mind, they know Sasha Banks is likable. She's a likable, lovable character. And we as fans, we love Sasha. We love her. We love her so much, it's hard to hate her. It's hard to hate a heel. It's hard to hate her because of how much we love her. As for Bayley, we've got many reasons to hate Bayley. We've got a reason to hate Bayley now. We've got a genuine reason to despise this sadistic, evil bitch. We now have a reason to hate her. I just think WWE have, in my opinion, set it the way that they think it's best. Sasha Banks as a babyface, and Bayley as a heel. And I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I actually do prefer babyface Sasha over heel Sasha. Because, in my genuine opinion, Sasha, she's a good heel. But, in my opinion, I don't think she'll ever hit the level that she did in NXT. I may not have seen what she was like in NXT, but from what people say, she was a good heel. This was the main roster's version of an evil Sasha. It was good, but it didn't top NXT's. So, in my opinion, I think they just prefer Sasha as a babyface because she's just so likable. She does so much for the company. Charities. She does a lot of good things for the company. So anyway, now let's talk about the rest of Smackdown. We started off with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman talking about their partnership. You know, I'm liking heel Roman. I think heel Roman is exactly what WWE needed to do. This is something they needed to do from the very beginning. A heel Roman is exactly what WWE should be doing with him. And I'm not going to say the same thing that I said for Bayley, that Roman should never turn babyface again. We all know Roman will turn babyface again. We all know Roman is going to eventually become a babyface again. But in my opinion, I just think Bayley should just remain a heel for the next couple of years. But Roman, I don't see how long his heel run's going to last. But now that he's a heel, it's great to see WWE are now giving Roman a chance to be a heel. And hearing Roman's promos, hearing what he said here, saying how he's no longer saying this is his yard, he's now saying that this is his kingdom. And so many other things. I prefer this heel Roman. I really do like this heel Roman a lot. It's only just began, but I'm going to be liking it even more as the weeks go on. We had Jey Uso backstage. He spoke with Roman Reigns. That leads to a bigger thing later on in the show. And then we have Otis and Tucker facing Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho. And Otis and Tucker get the win here. Not much to say there. Sheamus injures Big E, puts him out of action, renders him, that's what I was trying to say, renders him unavailable to wrestle in the Fatal 4-Way, which later we get announced that Jey Uso gets subbed in. Alexa Bliss apologizes to Nikki Cross. Don't care, to be honest. I'm not really looking forward to that feud. But the one thing I will say is that Nikki Cross looked a bit more angrier at Alexa Bliss than normal. Which, damn well she should be. Damn well she should be. If my best friend broke something that broke something that I cherished, I'd be angry too. Sami Zayn, the real Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, he comes out. Greg Hamilton announces him just as Sami Zayn, not as the Intercontinental Champion. This sets off Sami Zayn. This makes him angry. And it seems like we're going to be getting a big triple threat at Clash of Champions involving Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles. And then finally, the main event was Jey Uso, King Corbin, Sheamus, and Matt Riddle. The winner gets a Universal Championship match at Clash of Champions against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Jey Uso, I predicted him to win. Jey Uso walks away with the victory with the Uso splash on the barefoot bum, pinning Matt Riddle for the 3 count, and Jey Uso now gets the biggest opportunity of his career, facing off against his cousin Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Obviously Jey Uso isn't going to be winning the championship, but it's definitely going to be a really cool moment to see Roman Reigns and Jey Uso face off against each other. And I think it'd be really cool to see a spot where Jey Uso hits the Uso splash and he's about to win the match, but Roman just kicks out at the very end. I can definitely see something like that happening on this show, where Jey Uso just comes so close to winning the Universal Championship, but ultimately loses. So I'm generally excited for that. This is something different. This is something fresh This is what I'm talking about when it comes to WWE doing something different and fresh. This is what I meant by different, fresh, new. You got to try new things. And WWE is doing that with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. I'm very looking forward to this. I'm very looking forward to see what they're going to be doing with this. Bray Wyatt says he's going to have a brand new friend in the Funhouse. I think we all know who that's going to be, Alexa Bliss. But we'll have to wait and see. And we had some girl, and we had some video of some girl in high heels walking, and a lot of people were left confused on wondering who that could be. Some people are saying it's Peyton Royce. I'm thinking it's Vanessa Bourne. I'm thinking it's Vanessa Bourne or Chelsea Green. I think it's going to be either Chelsea or Vanessa. I feel like it's going to be one of those two. Because it's been reported for ages that Chelsea Green and Vanessa Bourne are on their way up to the main roster. So I'm thinking either Chelsea or Vanessa. And if one of them appear on Smackdown, then the other one is most likely in Retribution. Just keep that in mind. Chelsea Green or Vanessa Bourne could be in Retribution. So whichever one is debuting here on SmackDown, I think we can all assume that the other one is going to be in Retribution. So that's all I've got for you guys here on this SmackDown review. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your opinions down below. What did you guys think of Bayley turning on Sasha Banks? And what do you guys think of the Roman Reigns Jey Uso feud? I'm generally excited to see what we're going to be getting next week on SmackDown. Hit that thumbs up. And as I said, comment down below. Subscribe. And I will see you all next time for more